Research indicates that climate change is having a profound impact on Nigeria's agriculture, affecting crop yield, food security, and the livelihood of millions of farmers. Rising temperatures, changing rainfall patterns, and increased frequency of extreme weather events are altering the growing seasons, reducing soil fertility and affecting water availability. However, the absence of harmattan this season is likely to be linked to climate change, and this is altering weather pattern not just in Nigeria but across the globe. This change has significant implications for Nigeria's agriculture as farmers rely on predictable weather patterns to plan their cultivation cycles. Experts in the sector say that the disrupted harmattan season can affect soil moisture, pest behavior, and crop yields, and these ultimately impact on food security. Agriculturists maintained that the absence of harmattan's cooling effects may also lead to increased temperatures, exacerbating heat-related health issues, especially among the elders and vulnerable populations. Good evening and welcome to tonight's edition of Searchlight. I am Kelechi Ochiaga. The news in details. The Minority Caucus of the House of Representatives says it has identified discrepancies between the certified true copies of the tax law passed by the National Assembly and the version earlier published in the official gazette. The caucus, in a statement, noted that preliminary findings by its ad hoc committee investigating the matter revealed there were alleged illegal alterations to the Nigeria's Tax Administration Act 2025 for a tax compliance reporting threshold of 50 million naira for individuals and 100 million naira for companies. The Gazette version lowered the reporting threshold for individuals to 25 million from 50 million naira and 100 million instead of 250 million naira for companies. Representative Afamo Ogene, who chairs the Minority Caucus Ad Hoc Committee on the issue, calls for deeper investigations into the alleged attack of the Constitutional Authority of Parliament. Troops of Operation Odoaka have cleared the Angeli Forest in Enugu, described as a hibernating ground for the independent people of Biafra and the Eastern Security Network, terrorizing parts of the southeast. Defense correspondent Ishmael Musa, on a media tour to the zone, has the details.
This is Ajali Forest in Enugu local government area, about 2 hours drive from Enugu, the state capital. The ungoverned space provided safe haven for IPOP and ESN members, terrorizing the area and truncating socioeconomic activities in parts of the southeast. In December 2025, troops of the 103 Battalion under Operation Udoka stormed the forest, destroying criminal camps and detonating IEDs.
A total of 8 camps were cleared and were able to neutralize and destroy majority of their camps. About 197 rounds of 7.62 mm special ammo were recovered. We also arrested 2 of the IPOP members.
To enhance rapid response and easy access to the hibernating cells of the criminals, roads and routes are being provided.
We enjoyed the festive period. It was peaceful. There was no intimidation. There was no criminal attack. There were no kidnappings.
Continue to support the armed forces of Nigeria.
The general officer commanding 82 Division enjoined the residents of the area to see security as a collective responsibility.
Cyberspace has been very, very active, and we monitor it from time to time, and when necessary, we issue counter narratives also. There has been a major influence in the happenings in the southeast.
The Defense Media Operations Tour spanned to other parts of the country. From Ajale in Eziago local government area of Enugu State, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Let's pause for a commercial break. We'll be right back.
Productivity Order of Merit Award goes to...
The only tomato paste manufacturer to win the National Productivity Order of Merit Award by the Federal Government of Nigeria, endorsed by the Association of Private Medical Practitioners of Nigeria. This is an evidence of 100% natural goodness. Eat healthy to live longer. Buy now and enjoy up to 30% discount.
Introducing Naphtali's Hotel, 47 Ezilo Street, Independence Layout, Enugu. A moment at Naphtali's is an experience you will share forever. A luxurious suite fitted with brand new air conditioners, 42-inch plasma TV, free Wi-Fi and bespoke services, presented in a serene environment, distinguish us from the others. Our main bar, garden bar and restaurant give you a wide choice of drinks and delicacies, while our 800 capacity fully air-conditioned hall is the ideal haven for that special event. Naphtali's Hotel swimming pool and gym are available all day, while our live band blesses your ears every Friday and Sunday. Enjoy a whole new world of top-notch hospitality in the cool city. Your security is our priority. We are Naphtali's Hotel, 47 Ezilo Street, Brown and Brown, Independence Layout, Enugu. For inquiry, call 0908-273-6086, 0908-273-6086.
And the National Productivity Order of Merit Award goes to...
The only tomato paste manufacturer to win the National Productivity Order of Merit Award by the Federal Government of Nigeria, endorsed by the Association of Private Medical Practitioners of Nigeria. This is an evidence of 100% natural goodness. Eat healthy to live longer. Buy now and enjoy up to 30% discount.
Are you frustrated with travel and logistics plan? Lovefish Travel and Tours Limited is here to serve you. We provide visa assistance, proof of funds, languages classes for easy international work placement, caregiver and social work certifications, both virtual and physical classes. Are you planning a work retreat or school excursion? Do you need to ship goods across the globe? We got your back with our premium cargo services at Akami Biam International Airport in partnership with Nigeria Export Promotion Council, Southeast Regional Office, and Ethiopian Airlines. In Lovefish Travel and Tour Limited, proficiency, efficiency, and professionalism is our watchword. Visit us at number 36 Umoji Street, Independence Layout, Enugu, or call 0706 295 8388. Lovefish Travel, moving dreams, moving you. Enjoy.
Glad to have you back. Climate change, which sounded like a distant warning for decades, is now a reality, being dinner of table of millions. As global temperatures rise, the very backbone of food system agriculture is under siege, and the predictability that farmers have relied on for centuries is gone. Ife Nwadanelukpa sought to know how a changing climate is forcing a total renovation of the way that food comes to the country.
Just a bad season, but a structural shift. In 2026, the data is stacked. Between 2019 and 2024, the number of undernourished people surged to over 840 million. Why? Because the weather is no longer playing by the rules.
When you talk about the climatic change, it's not the change of weather over a period of time, and it will start distorting certain weather pattern. For example, you might see this period, especially this year, that Enugu State did not experience harmattan. That is the cold period of harmattan.
The rising temperatures are doing more than just wettening leaves. They are altering the soil's chemistry, accelerating the decay of organic matter, and inviting new waves of pests that thrive in the heat. In coastal regions, rising sea levels are pushing salt water into freshwater wells, turning once fertile rice paddies into barren salt flats.
Agriculture starting from the clearing of the farmland to planting, to weeding, to harvesting, is affected by climate change. And it causes climate change, negative climate change causes reduction in production. For instance, if we don't get the rains come at the right time, obviously the farmers will not plant at the right time.
What used to be a high-yield wheat belt is today cracked soil and the local reservoir at an all-time low. For farmers, they are not just fighting for this year's harvest, they are also fighting for the future of their profession.
If the rain did not stop when it's supposed to stop, and the farmer harvests his crop, he cannot dry his crop, because in the climate where we do not have the other alternate facilities to dry up our harvested crop, they will get spoiled. And when they get spoiled, the farmers will lose their money. As a state, we have adopted the strategy on informing our farmers on the yearly forecast in terms of when rain is going to start, when rain is going to be at its peak, when the rain is going to stop, and the time that they should also plant their crop.
Olden days farmers knew exactly when to plant by the first rain, but now the rain comes too late, or it comes all at once in a flood.
How do you get your yields on yearly basis? Is it increasing or is it reducing? So if it's reducing, now there are certain things you have to know about this. There's something called climate change. And what we have to ask you is, how do you handle your produce? Do you burn? So if you burn, you have to reduce access, you have to reduce burning things, to emit CO2. You have to reduce it. Try to use alternative methods. That is why you talk about climate smart agriculture. Try to know how to take what is in your farm to do other things in your farm. All of them are organic in nature.
However, there is a pushback around the world. Climate smart agriculture is the new mandate. Farmers are switching to drought-resistant crops like Nerica rice and heat-tolerant maize. In Enugu, the green agriculture digital advisory platforms are helping growers use 90% less water through precision irrigation. In Enugu, Ifeyinwa Daniel Okpai, NTN News.
Thank you, Ifeyinwa. Now the business of the day. The Harmattan season is typically a period of dry and dusty winds that brings relief to many Nigerians from the scorching heat. However, this year the Harmattan seems to be away, and many are wondering what this portends for the agricultural sector. Joining me tonight to discuss this issue is the former Permanent Secretary, Minister of Agriculture, and currently the technical advisor to Enugu State Commissioner for Agriculture and Agro-Industrialization, Mr. Victor Udoka Ngu. Sir, you are welcome to the program. Let's dive straight into it. We want to know what is behind the absence of Harmattan this season.
Well, as we all may know, what is behind the absence of Harmattan this season is nothing else but climate change. Climate change, as a matter of fact, is the change in climatic conditions over a prolonged period of time. This affects, leads to irregular rainfall patterns, high temperatures, flooding, and increase in diseases and pests. So climate change comes with a whole lot of issues, and that is why we say it is change in climatic conditions over a prolonged period of time, and that is what is responsible for the absence of Harmattan this period. Thank you.
Okay. Will you call it a challenge to farmers?
Of course, it's a serious challenge.
How?
You know, when creation, you understand, has reasons for all seasons, and Harmattan season is a special period. Harmattan helps even in fruiting, like crops that fruit like ogbono, and so many of that time use Harmattan seasons to fruit.
Okay.
I get him. And then when there's absence of Harmattan, it affects such crops. You understand? It affects fruiting. Okay. And then also, during the Harmattan season is the period of harvest. That's when you harvest your yams, you harvest all crops, and then dry them.
Okay. Does it affect crop yields in any form?
Harmattan?
Yes.
Well,
I mean the absence of Harmattan.
The absence of Harmattan may not, like I said before, it affects the
fruiting and
some other crops, which affects crops yield, like we said. But in some, even where they don't affect crops yield, they affect, drying of crops. Like yam, it is during that period that you harvest crops like yam and other things like that. Because if in the process of harvesting, if anyone is wounded during the Harmattan, there won't be any problem. But once there's no Harmattan, once anyone is wounded, it will lead to decay. I get me. So you will find a lot of yam and crops decaying because of excess heat. But Harmattan helps to dry such crops. So it affects crop production and essentially post-harvest, increases post-harvest losses.
Okay. Is there possibilities of farmers adapting to the situation?
Of adapting for the
situation of not absence of Harmattan. Is there any other way they can really make do with agriculture to continue with the agriculture?
Of course, there are ways they can adapt.
And still we have a good crop yields.
There are adaptation strategies.
Okay.
Like when there's a changing pattern, like weather patterns, that is why we have an institution like NIMET. That what they do is that each year they give what we call a seasonal predictions.
All right.
I get me.
Okay.
Which is not only for agriculture, but even for aviation. You understand? But essentially for agriculture. It tells you the onset of rain, when the rain will come, when and when it will stop, and even the intensity of the rain. That will guide the farmers on when to plant. Okay.
Are you trying to say that farmers are before now they are aware that Harmattan will not come this season?
Well, they may not be aware.
You talked about predictions. That's why I'm.
Yes, because if you follow the predictions, I get him. The NIMET try to predict the weather. Yes. They will tell you when the rain will stop, when it will start, the temperature, the humidity, and all these kind of things. They do. And even in Enugu State, we have tried to educate our farmers in partnership with NIMET to educate them on the weather patterns in the state so that it can guide them in their decisions as to when to plant, when to harvest, and all such things. Yeah.
Okay, we want to know, what does it indicate about food security this year? I mean, the lack of Harmattan.
When you want to talk about Harmattan, Harmattan is only an aspect of climate change.
You mean it doesn't help in crop yielding?
You mean Harmattan?
Yes.
Just like we said before, it helps in crop yielding. Essentially, some crops, especially fruit crops, like we talked about before. It helps in crop yielding.
Okay.
I get it. But there are other crops that does not affect their yielding.
Like?
But it helps during harvest, like we talked about. Like Harmattan does not essentially help, I get him, in determine the yield of crops like yam.
When I was in primary school, sorry to take you back,
okay,
there is something they call soil erosion.
Yeah.
That during Harmattan, air used to break soils and enter there, that it helps in crop yielding. What do you have to say about that?
What it does is that during that period, it, the soil, the Harmattan, the soil is losing.
Yes.
And makes it easier when the rain comes.
To penetrate.
And then carry away the soil.
Yes.
I get him. So that is, yes, an aspect. But like what I'm saying is that the concentration here seems to be on Harmattan. But Harmattan is just one aspect of climate change. There are a lot of other issues that impact on agricultural production. Because when we are talking about climate change, we are talking about changes in climatic conditions, which affects rainfall patterns, temperature, humidity, and a whole lot of others that make it possible for farmers to plant. Because in Nigeria, essentially, farmers are dependent on rain. We practice rain-fed agriculture. But when you're not sure of when the rains will come, or the intensity of the rain, or when it will even stop, it affects farmers' decisions in planting. Because you can plant when the rain falls, because sometimes even the onset of rain, there can be deceitful. Rain may fall now and farmers will rush to farm thinking that rain will continue, and it will not continue. And that is why we are partnering with agencies like NIMET.
Okay.
To educate farmers on when to plant.
That's a nice one.
And when to harvest. Because when you know when the rain will start, when it will stop, and how long it will last, it will help you to plan your agricultural production. And that is why here in Enugu State, we are partnering with NIMET. Last year, before the onset of agricultural season, farming season, we invited NIMET, and we collaborated with NIMET to educate our farmers on the climate conditions, when the rains will come, and all those other things, which helped our farmers in planning their farming season. And this year, we're also planning to repeat the same.
Okay, thank you very much. Before we go, could you tell our viewers the potential long-term consequences of assuming Harmattan doesn't come, since it didn't come this year, assuming it doesn't come next year? What's the long-term consequences? In a nutshell, please, before we go.
Well, the long-term consequences of Harmattan, just like
on farming.
On farming, you understand? So if it is only the long-term consequences, it will affect agricultural production.
It's all right.
It will affect food security.
It's okay.
But if that is why people and governments should take proactive actions on how to mitigate those effects, because that is what planning, you understand, involves.
It's all right. Thank you very much.
And that is why the collaboration with NIMET.
Thank you very much for coming. I'm afraid we are behind the schedule. As we wrap up this discussion, I want to leave you with a sense of hope. As Nigerians, we have the knowledge and technology, also the collective power to make a difference. We say thank you to our panelists and viewers for joining us on this important conversation. By the grace of God, we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Welcome to God. Darling Court Hotels and Resorts, situated at 3 Airport Corner Road, Airport Corner Bus Stop along Airport Road, Emene, Enugu. A home away from home, where all your needs are available, even at an affordable rate. Our ultra-modern guest rooms, spacious parking lot, sports bar and recreational facilities, club lounge and VIP bar, guaranteed security, multi-purpose hall. Come and let us pamper you a little, and you will never regret it. For reservations and inquiries, call 0803 224 5229, 0812 344 3344, 0909 602